Hey, it's Matt with Mystical Mountains, and I thought tonight I would teach you the proper way to absorb a textbook. And then if you use these techniques to absorb any book you read, almost like a sponge. This is the stuff that your teachers and your professors don't tell you. Okay? So I'm going to use one of my old textbooks when I was getting my naturopathic degree. And here it is, the textbook of natural medicine. What you do is, it comes down to steps. They assign you a chapter. You sit down and you flip through the chapter. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So this chapter right here, okay? You sat down and I'm looking at the page, and all I'm doing is flipping through. I'm not reading, I'm not trying to take notes, I am flipping through. Okay? Now, the next thing to do is most textbooks have a quiz or highlights or something at the end of the chapter that the people who wrote the chapter thought was the most important information. So I'm going to look and see if there's a pop quiz. Or the questions at the end of the chapter. And then I'm going to read the questions. I'm going to go back through the chapter and highlight those once I find the answers. Say I'll highlight them in pink. And from here on out in this textbook, pink is the only color I use for that. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the chapter, and I'm going to look for bold words. In other words, words that are wrote in bold, as in those. Okay? I'm going to take another color highlighter, say a green. I'm going to highlight those words and the definitions or the explanations of what those words are. Okay? All the way through the chapter. That's all I'm doing. I'm not reading it yet. I'm just skimming through, getting the definition with the green. Pink is my test, my pop quiz answers. Then I'm going to sit down at the beginning of the chapter again, and I'm going to read the first and last sentence of every paragraph. Now what that's going to do is that's going to give you an introduction to the paragraph. In other words, what's in that paragraph, what that paragraph is about. And it's going to give you an epilogue to that paragraph. It's going to be a summary of the paragraph. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just reading the first sentence and the last. Once I do that, now I'm going to go back and read the chapter. Now, it seems like that's a lot of work. But I guarantee you, if you do those steps, you will retain that information a lot easier and a lot quicker than if you didn't. And here's another tip, one final tip, and this is not part of the ones I showed you. This is what I do personally. What I'll do is I'll see if it's a chapter that I'm having issues with. Not only will I take the words in bold print, but I'll write their definition on a separate sheet of paper 10 times a piece. And then, I'll make sure that's for straight up memory. Because some things I absorb a lot easier than I do others. But that is how to absorb a textbook made nowadays. And then you can take this to anything you read. You can, if you want to read a book and understand the book, like when I was studying about the Jacobite Revolution, one of our assignments was to read a book in Gaelic. So I sat down and I did that. I went through, I just skimmed through the chapter. Of course, there's not going to be tests or anything like that because it's just a book. You know, it's just a regular story. So I went through and skimmed the chapter. Went back through, read the first and last word of every paragraph, and then I just, worked my way through the system. So I hope this helps you who are thinking about going back to school, and I hope this helps you who are in school to retain the information. Because at the end of the day, you are worth more than your test scores. This is Matt. I love you. Get outside. Stay safe from the COVID. And be kind to one another.